Hi everyone, it's Rachel from Merrick Makings in Australia, independent Stampin' Up demonstrator. This month's global video hop is a monochromatic theme. I have chosen the blues, and this was actually inspired by one of my followers on Instagram. So thank you very much for that person's telling me all about their favourite colour blue. I am using a host set for this one. It's in the annual catalogue. It is a set of moths, actually, the images. And this one, it took me a little while to purchase it. But now that I have, I'm really pleased because this is one of those stamp sets where it has the outline and it has some more solid stamps that fill in and colour for you. A lot of this card, you will see me using the 4 colours. So blueberry bushel, balmy blue, boho blue, and misty moonlight. So I'm going to start off with my white cardstock, which is my background piece that will be layered upon boho blue and onto my misty moonlight card base. So I am taking one of the larger moths and I am stamping this so that each image comes off the side so that you get this collage of the same moth. The colouring in section, which we're going to stamp actually on, it gives you the bottom section, so they're bottom wings. And I am using the boho blue and the balmy blue for this one. You'll notice I'm stamping off, so I'm doing second generational stamping for that bottom section, and I'll go around and pop those in. What I really love about this sort of technique is the ability to layer. So you will notice in this video that I sort of go over the same sections more than once with using different mediums as well. So I am inking this with second generational stamping, where you stamp onto a scrap piece of paper and then do the ink that is left as residue. It gives you a more subtle tone for that particular coloured ink. I'm now going to go back in with the balmy blue, and I'm going to only ink part of this die, so the bottom section of it. And I'm not too fussy about this. It does have a reasonably solid line, and you'll see why I'm not fussy about it very soon. I just go around and put the bottom half of this and stamp straight over the top of that original second generational stamping that I did complete a minute ago. So this builds up layers, gives that appearance of ombre or faded in kind of colours. Blues, I have a lot of blue in my house, in my wardrobe. My new caravan has blue in it as well, but actually I'm a green girl at heart. It's just a matter of finding the right green. Now here's a little tip for you. I have a Wink of Stella. Actually all of my Wink of Stellas have done this, but it leaks. I don't know if you can see it in the video, but I have to be really careful. I did do a colouring the other day, and a big blob of the Wink of Stella dropped straight onto my coloured image, which I was really sad about because it took me forever. So I'm going to actually use an aqua pen, and I'm going to just dab it onto my Wink of Stella, and I will add that over the top of the stamping that I've just done. So you can remember I did the second generational stamping, and then I stamped on top of that directly, just with half of the stamp inked up. Now I'm going to go in and blend those two together. Because we are using just standard ink off the ink pad, it's a water-based ink. So we're going to go in with the aqua painter, and these are going to blend together. And of course, because you've got a little touch of Wink of Stella also on there, which I'm going back and dabbing on from my Wink of Stella, I'm going to get a slight shimmer in there as well. And that shimmer will help give the illusion that those colours are blending quite seamlessly. Not sure if you can actually see it there. But once I've completed that, and I actually used a little bit of ink as well with my aqua painter and added some random dots to my background. And you'll see why. I'm now going to take the artistically inked stamp set, and it does have this little tiny set of 3, I think it is, dots. And I'm going to use the boho blue to complete that background stamping. So I've got some of these random brush marks, I guess you could call it, in the background. And then I'm going to do first and second generational stamping using this, the little clustered dots from the Artistically Inked stamp set to fill in the rest. You don't want too much. And this is what I'm talking about layering. You'll see shortly I'm going to layer this even more. The whole point of this card was to create a thank you card, and of course a thank you card for coming to my events or for a host. There's nothing better than using an actual host set for this. This actually showcases different ways that you can use it. So I've finished off that background stamping here. Now I'm going to use a stamping blend. Now a lot of people will tell you that you do not mix the watercolor or the water-based, inks and the alcohol-based inks. But in this instance, it works really well. The alcohol ink does not affect my background colouring, and in fact, it kind of helps because it blends even better with just that little bit of distraction of having those dots. I'm just simply going to fill this whole background in. I've done this on several cards now using a background colour, and I find that if you can use the lighter of the two inks in your Stampin' Blend, it does blend a little bit better for these background ones. And I just work in sections. So fill in one little section and then move the card and fill in the next. And I actually outline my images first, so it gives me the ability to colour in the larger section a little bit quicker. As you can see, I'm not too fussy about it. I'm just filling it in with blocks, and make sure that any little section along the outside edge you're going to get with that as well. And this allows your images to almost pop up off the page. It really highlights them, and it uses the white of your white cardstock in your image to really, stand out. It kind of gives that printed look to the whole card. I'm just finishing this one off now. You can see, hopefully you can see, it did not make any of that background bleed at all. And it's quite a pretty blue when it's all coloured out, that light balmy blue. I'm going to use the thanks sentiment. Of course, the Night of Flight moth set, the host set, doesn't come with sentiment, so you will need to probably find a sentiment that's going to match. And I'm going to use a nice bright blueberry bushel, I think it's called, to stamp my thanks. And I'm going to come in with one of the larger moths and stamp that as well and colour it in. It's a larger stamp, so you will need a larger block for this one as well. It just fits across the piece of white cardstock that I actually had cut. Again, it's a large wingspan on this one. There is a matching or almost matching solid block, and I'm going to use boho blue to fill that one in a second generational stamp. What I really like about this one is there doesn't seem to be any true fast rules when it comes to the colouring in sections of the blocks. I am using the Misty Moonlight straight onto the tail section, or the bottom wings of this one as well. And you'll see in a moment I'm going to bring in this little piece here. It really does not belong on this one, but it was really nice just to bring in that little bit of extra colour. And of course, popping it around, it doesn't really matter because I will blend this in again using my aqua painter and a little bit of that Wink of Stella as well. And you'll see this now. So it will blend in really lovely. The aqua painter going across the water-based inks will mean that they will blend slightly, but you'll still get some definition. So this is just sort of bringing in those muted tones, and it does mute the tones of your chosen colour. Finally, I'm going to use my aqua painter, which does have the water inside the barrel, so you won't see me dipping in constantly to water, and it does have a wet brush most of the time, unless you've really tipped it backwards or it's running a bit low in the water in the barrel, and you just have to refill it. It's very simple to use. Finally, I'm going to assemble my base. It is, like I said, the Misty Moonlight. I am going to matte my bannered sentiment using that background piece. And I think I will add a matting to that background piece as well for my final one. You can see how it's going to come together. And just like magic, there it is. I've added a couple little coloured rhinestones in there. Thanks for joining me, everybody. This has been a lot of fun. I'll see you next month.